I love reading teen books because I think there's something really fascinating about that time period in life when people are deciding who they want to be. They haven't yet become the people that they're going to be for the rest of their lives. And one could argue that we're always changing, but I feel like the greatest changes that you make are in that period of time between about 14 and 20. And so that's when the choices that you make really define you as a person. I had the idea of creating the Shadowhunters world when I was living in New York, and I was with a friend of mine, and she was a tattoo artist. We went to her tattoo studio, and we were talking about the history of tattoos. In many cultures, people have always believed that tattoos had magical properties, and it began to make me think, what if there were a race of people for whom these tattoos or skin markings really did have magical properties? What if they worked? When I created the Shadowhunters, I wanted to make sure that they were a global organization, that they weren't located in just one city. One of my favorite television shows is Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but I was always worried because she lived in Sunnydale and she was the only Slayer in the whole world, and clearly vampires were a global problem. I wasn't sure how she could deal with it all locally, so I thought I would create a organization of demon hunters that was everywhere in the world. And in Lord of Shadows, they go to London, they go to Cornwall, they go to Fairyland. It's been very interesting for me writing the Dark Artifices because the world of the Shadowhunters has changed so much since the beginning of the Mortal Instruments. By the time we get to Dark Artifices, they're in the middle of what they call the Cold Peace. So it's a peace, but it's very hostile. The situation between Downworlders and Shadowhunters has really disintegrated, and their relationships have been destroyed. And so Emma and Julian and their friends are growing up in a world where there's very high tension in the world of Shadowhunters. There are definitely some major deaths in Lord of Shadows that I think people were not expecting. Certainly it's been interesting to experience the fan reaction, which has definitely run the gamut from being very sad to being very angry to being sure that they're going to come back somehow.